Okay, start share again. Okay, now we're back recording. So for people watching the recording, what you missed is we copied the cart reducer from our reducer branch and put it into our Redux hooks branch. And we also installed two dependencies. We installed Redux and React Redux, which is right here. So you need those two dependencies and the cart reducer from yesterday and the reducer's cart reducer file to get where we are. There we go. Should be enough of an explanation for somebody watching.
That's correct. But mine shows an error while I do copy.
What's that now?
Mine shows an error.
Okay, let's see what you got. Errors. I like errors. Okay, so you copied it off of your other branch, right?
No, this is so far I did it. Git add, git commit,
Okay.
and then git checkout.
Okay, you tried to check out the cart reducers file. You need to git check out your branch. So from yesterday. So if you type in git branch, let's see what branches you have on file.
So right now I'm in a Redux branch, which I created today. I didn't create any branch yesterday.
Did you do yesterday's work on Prepty Dave?
Yeah, whatever the, like, you know, main regular, that's where I did it. So that's correct.
Okay, so do a git checkout to Prepty Dave.
Okay.
And okay, so now if you look, you'll see somewhere in there we should have a reducers file.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, click on that one. Copy all that code, top to bottom. And then do a git checkout into Redux.
Oh no.
Tab is not working. Okay. Git checkout Redux. Okay.
All right, now go ahead and click on your cart reducers file that's in Redux and paste, and then save that. And you can close the deleted one. I see what the difference is too. You have a .js for your cart reducers file name rather than .js, so you need to rename that file. There, all better. Now we have our reducer. We're ready to go.
Okay, so right now I'm in the reducer branch.
Yep, you should be in the Redux branch again.
Redux, perfect.
Perfect. Right on.
Thank you.
No problem. And let's keep going. So, okay, so we have our reducer set up. We're ready to go. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go into index.js. We're going to the top level where this app is in React strict mode. And we're going to bring in a couple things here. We're going to import something called create store. And that's going to come from Redux. And then we need one other thing. We're going to import one called the provider. And that's going to come from React Redux. Oh, I did that totally wrong. React. Give me my quote back. This one. Darn you, IDE. React Redux. Okay, so we have a create store and a provider. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a store. And a store is where all of our reducers and our middleware live in Redux. The beauty of Redux is it allows you to have depending on memory, you can have an infinite number of reducers that are controlling an infinite number of global states in your application. And you can bring them all to one point right here to distribute them via Redux across the app, all as different global states. So we'll get into that more tomorrow as far as combining the reducers to bring them all into one. But today we're just going to create a store with our reducer. So we're going to say const create, or we're going to call it store. We'll call it store. That's going to equal create store. And at create store, we got to bring in our reducer, which we know is called the cart reducer. And my auto import's coming in play. And the second argument for this is normally the middleware, which we're not really worried about at the moment because that'll be a discussion for another day. So let me know when you guys are at the point where we created the store.
Yeah, mine is
But
on
let
the,
me see your reducer again real quick, Chris.
Sure.
My stuff spazzed out on me.
And did you have questions too, Prapti?
yeah, mine, I don't have any render here. I don't know why in index.js. I just have that const
You don't have the
render.
so there's no render method? All right.
No.
Once Tommy catches up on this reducer, we'll go ahead and take a look at why.
Can you expand that out a little bit?
Like to see this part?
Yeah.
I suppose I could drag it over actually. Yeah, there we go. I'll just drag it back. So the store is basically, as it's labeled, it's the store. That's like where you go to the store to get things that you want, different things. You got to have a store to go to. Redux supplies that store to go get the different pieces of state you want.
Okay, I'm all good now.
All right. Let's see what you got, Prapti.
Um,
What index.js are we in? Okay, you're in the index.js of the data file. That's why.
okay.
So go into, it'd be, if you close all them folders, it's normally down at the bottom.
This one. Okay.
That looks like it.
That's correct. Thank you.
Hey,
Okay.
there it is.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. So I gotta remove those two.
Yeah, and then you got to bring in your provider and your store. Yep. Perfect.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, you should also import your cart reducer.
Oh yeah, you got to have the cart reducer.
Oh, here I need the carding. Okay.
Yeah. So import. It's got to be destructured. Yep. Cart reducer from, and this should be this // reducers / cart reducer. All right. We're in business now.
Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, the indexes can get confusing, and that's going to be a commonplace from what I've seen just looking at code that's out there. Is index is like whenever you have like a folder or a directory and it has index.js in it, if you just point something to that folder, it'll just grab the index.js. So you'll see that labeled a lot of places to keep people from having to type that extra link onto the file path. If they just want to index, they'll just point it to the folder.
Yeah, that's right.
So you see that often. Be prepared. And we'll go back. Let's see here. We're going to go back into index.js. So we have our store, our cart reducer. We created that store. Now we're going to wrap this in something called the provider, similar to the context provider. And then we're going to wrap all of our app stuff. Oh, what did I just push? I didn't want to do that. Make it go away. That's better. Pushing the wrong button. I pushed the silly little window key rather than my alt key. And we're going to back that up into the provider.
Comma after provider.
I see that too. Shame on the comma. There we go. So when you get done, you should have something similar that looks like that.
Okay.
And I just broke a bunch of stuff. Cannot read property of get state. I know. Stop yelling at me. I'll fix you in a minute.
I'm getting the same error.
Oh yeah, you all will. The moment we did that, it said no.
So wait,
Go ahead.
so I'm just taking a guess, but the provider wrapping the React and everything with the provider acts as like being able to basically import all of Redux within the React app.
Yeah, and I'm wondering right now. I wonder if I got to be inside of React strict mode.
Yeah, I don't know. That strict mode thing is new.
Yeah, I don't trust it. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move this down. We're gonna do this and do this. Take that comma out and put it back here because I just don't trust it. I don't know what they're doing with strict mode, and I don't think I want to find out right now. So there, I'll make it look like that. Still get the same error, so that's not causing that, at least. We know that. But inside your provider, you're going to give it store. It's looking, the provider looks for a store prop. And you're going to pass it just like a prop. So the store equals the store. So the Redux store equals the store we created. Let me know when everybody gets there.
And pop quiz, what's in our store? Pop quiz, what's in our store?
I believe it's the cart reducer.
There you go.
Yeah. The reducer's in the store. Look, I saved that and it started working again. Yeah.
Oh.
All right. So now that we have that global state set up to distribute across our app, now we're going to go and start using it. So let's go into app.js. We'll start there. We have our cart set cart now with our cart remove methods that we're not going to need this anymore. That is now part of our reducer. So we'll comment that out. It's going to break some stuff again. Yeah. Now we're going to start with our functions where we have our set cart method here. We're not going to need that anymore. Actually, let's bring our stuff in first. So we're going to bring in some imports here. We're going to import a couple of hooks. Use selector and use dispatch. And they should come from React Redux. Let me make sure I'm right on that. Yep, that should be where they come from. So we're gonna have these two hooks. And now what the first one we'll do is we'll set up our use selector hook. So you remember where we had our state call right here? We're gonna set up a const and we're gonna call it the cart. And that's gonna be equal to use selector. And it takes a callback function. It's gonna look for state and we're gonna return state. And that should work. So now just to verify, I'm gonna console.log the cart and see what pops up in the old terminal. Oh, do I need to refresh this? Oh, go away. All right, let's see where we're at. Where's my console log?
Set cart. Oh,
It's a type of Redux, so I gotta do probably state dot. Did I give that a name in the cart reducer? It might be state dot state. Let's try that. No,
okay.
I gotta remember how to do this part now without using combined reducers. Cart reducer JS10. What am I console logging there?
I wonder if it doesn't like that we're inside of the strict mode.
Yeah, let me try and just do this. Cannot read property of state.
I'm not getting
What am I?
anything.
I'm returning state out of there.
Oh, wait, do you need to import the cart reducer at all?
Nope. No, it should do that for us.
Since you got it within index.js.
Exactly, yes. Yeah, so you don't need that reducer anymore. It's automatically there. So yeah, reducer. So let me take a look. This is where I combine reducer. See if I could dissect the code I'm going off of because it's a little more elaborate than what we're doing. Utilities, reducers. Use reducer. Index is combining user reducer as user. So, okay, so we're going to try that. So that returns user. Let's see if that works. So let's go back into app and let's do state dot cart reducer. Okay, I'm getting back the exact same thing. Why am I getting back the same thing? I'm like totally botching this right now.
That
I'm just not getting anything. That's weird.
You got to refresh it.
it's cart reducer JS line 10 that's coming from.
Yeah, JS line 10. That's where I'm console logging the action.
Okay, so what the action
Is a Redux action. Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't need to be console logging that. That's weird. Okay, so I didn't save this obviously. So let's save this again. Refresh. Why am I not getting cart reducer of undefined?
set cart is not defined.
Yeah, it's not gonna be. Okay, so I'm getting undefined out of 29. So why am I not returning my state there? Oh, I'm totally botching this on you guys. I'm sorry, but I'll figure it out.
Do you think it has anything to do with that strict mode?
I don't know. It might. We could try that. Let's try and move it up, move it down. See if that changes anything. Refresh. No, I'm still getting undefined. Why am I getting undefined? Reducer's cart reducer. It's bringing that in. Create store. Let's do this. I wonder if it'll let me do it in here outside of the component. It might not even hit. Okay, here we go. This is index. This is what I get. So I get a dispatch. I get a get state. And I get a replace reducer. My dispatch is there. Why am I not grabbing my reducer? That's what almost what it seems like the problem is.
Yeah, it's like it's not pulling in cart reducer.
Oh, I know why. State equals initial state. That might be it.
Yes, no.
I misspelled it.
Oh, I'm getting something.
Oh, there we go. It just started working. That's why. I didn't give it the initial state. I forgot that very important part in the reducer. When you're using Redux, it doesn't know what this state is to start with. So you got to set it to the initial state so it knows. So you say state equals initial state in your reducer. So basically it automatically sets it to this.
Oh,
Because
okay.
right now state, basically we're passing in state, but what state?
Mm-hmm.
It has no idea. So we have to tell it what it is. So what this does is say state equals initial state, and then as it starts creating copies, it's going to return that state object copies, and it won't need it anymore.
Hence why that was console logging undefined at first.
Exactly. So now we can ditch this console log that I put in here. I'll save that. We're wrapping strict mode, and it seems to be working. So app.js, where we're console logging our cart, and we refresh, we should see our cart. Yeah, this is it. We're getting this from Redux. This is labeled as state. So state equals state. So it's basically whatever you pass in here, you say there. So you can say, like if it's confusing, you say cart state, and we're gonna return cart state. That should work as well.
Because the cart state is basically state then. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and when we start combining reducers, you're gonna see how you kind of chain these together. The default way that I normally see it typed out is they just call state, because you're only gonna have one state in Redux. Now it'll have a bunch of reducers tied to that. So I'll just give you an example, like a little teaser. We'll change this back to state. And let's say you had like a cart reducer and a part reducer. Well, let's say I just wanted to grab the cart state. You would have this as state.cart, or whatever you name that cart reducer. And then if you were grabbing the parts, you'd have it state.part, or whatever you called the part reducer. And that's what would grab those individual reducers, so you can pluck that piece out of the store.
Okay.
Now we have the cart and we have our selector. So we're passing our cart everywhere it needs to be passed. Even though I don't even think we needed to pass the cart here. So like they got, this is all done inside of our reducer, I believe. Yeah, so let's start with, we're gonna start with add cart. We're gonna comment out that set cart. And in here, we're gonna use something different. We're gonna use that use dispatch hook. And we're gonna name it dispatch. And we're gonna set that equal to use dispatch. invoked. That gives us our dispatch property. So now we know on our reducer that we have an add cart and remove cart. So we bring these into our app because we're going to be calling them in there. So we're going to import add cart and remove cart. That's going to come from our, let's see, we're in app.js, so top level. That'll come from our reducer / cart reducer. And we'll go back down here to our dispatch where we set this up. Now all we're going to do is call dispatch. Syspatch, sure. We're going to dispatch an object that's going to have the type. That should start looking familiar to you guys from yesterday. It's going to have the type add cart. And it's going to have a payload, payload of the part.
Oh,
Whoa. My linter is pissed at the use dispatch.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wonder why.
Here, I'll show you right now. Give me 1 second.
So we're still getting set cart is not defined. We're bringing it down into here. We'll deal with those props in a minute. And we'll start working our way through these errors of the conversion.
okay.
What was the payload on the payload? Is part, right?
Part.
Yeah, the part that you're coming into your function with.
Yeah.
Okay. So look at what my linter tells me about that.
This is funny.
Yeah, it's basically saying if you use thunk, it's a no-no.
Yeah.
But we're not using the thunk.
Yeah. But it's just like automatically yelling at me like, hey, you need to use thunk and not this.
And you can use dispatch with thunk too. All you have to do is dispatch the actual action function that you create. You import that function in and you call that in dispatch, and then it runs it through the thunk.
Nice.
So, the linter's a liar. I've done it. I've seen me do it.
I need to take that linter off. It's starting to really annoy me.
All right. And now we have the same thing going in our cart remove. So we're going to comment all that out. And actually, you know what we're going to do is we're going to move this const of the dispatch. We're going to move that right up under our use selector so we can use it in both of our functions.
Oh, call it twice and
Yeah, we're going to call it in here too. So in here, we're just going to dispatch. And we're going to dispatch a, and remember, these got to be objects in here. So we're going to dispatch a type. That's going to be the remove cart. And it's going to take a payload. That's going to be an object. That's going to have an ID and a name. That should work. Other than, yeah, that should work. Why is it not liking that? Oh, because I've created payload as a function because I'm an idiot. That's why. That looks better. And let me know when you guys get here. Oh, look, we're down to 1 error. Oh. And pretty much we're going to do the same thing we did yesterday. We're just going to go through component by component and start bringing this in where we need it. Like the use selector of cart, we might not even need that in here anymore. We got to wait and see how these other functions pan out, our other components, to whether we, as far as I could tell, we're not using cart in here, and we're only passing it as a prop into our cart details. Right there. And we're passing it in there. So we might not even need that selector in here, but I just put it in there because when I start the refactor like this, I always replace the use state with it right away. And then if I got to take it back out later, it's cool. But that way I kind of get the feel of things, how it's going to flow. So is everybody at this point?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you see what you, as a matter of fact, if Dustin still teaches it the old way, if you see what you have to go through for what we did without hooks, you guys would lose your mind. You literally are calling higher order components down in the bottom here. You're wrapping this app. You're creating different objects of map state to props and mapping dispatch to prop. It's ugly. It's not cool.
Yeah. It's what made me hate Redux.
Yeah. The hooks are the way. So yeah, so and he's probably still going to touch on that, even if he's teaching hooks, just for legacy code that you guys might run into. So just be prepared when you see that. So yeah, we're good there. Let's move on. Let's start going through our components. We'll start with cart details. All right, looks like we're getting the cart in here. So let's go ahead and grab our use selector. That's going to come from React Redux. And we'll go down here. We're going to give it a const. And we're going to name it the cart. So it's less code that we have to repeat. That's going to be equal to, actually, I don't even think I have to destructure that, do I? I'm trying to remember. No, I don't. Okay. Don't destructure that. Don't follow along with me that hard. That's going to equal to use selector. And in our selector, we're going to do this state callback to state. So now we have our cart. And once we have our cart, we're in cart details, right? Yeah, cart details. We're going to go through and we're going to get rid of all these props.carts. Down with the props, just like we did the other day. Props are bad. And then we got a remove button. We got props.cart remove coming in here.
Oh, we're gonna have to destructure and bring in cart and cart remove.
Okay, well, we're those functions aren't part of the store anymore. So we're just going to change those to dispatch.
Dispatch dot.
Yep, so we're going to bring in use dispatch.
Oh.
We'll bring in use dispatch as well. And we'll go in here. We're using the selector. We're going to do the same thing. Const dispatch equals use dispatch. So now we have our dispatch method from Redux. And then where we have props.cart remove inside this callback at the on click, we're not going to have that anymore. We're basically going to have dispatch. Oh. And what we're going to dispatch is an object. So let's wrap this inside of here with an object. And it's going to be just like that other one. We're going to give it the type. And we got to import our type, which this is remove. Is it remove cart or cart remove? Yeah, we're going to have to import those in from our reducer. So import, is it remove cart? I think it is. And we'll go ahead and grab add cart just to be safe. We might not need it. from up a level to our reducers to our cart reducer. And let me make sure I name this right. Add cart, remove cart. Remove cart, add cart. So we're going to need those. And we'll come down here into our on click that we had there. And the type is going to be, this is remove cart. And our payload is going to be this stuff here, the item ID and the item name, wrapped as an object. Oh, it's giving me item.id item. How do I get around that? I think I could do it this way.
Oh.
Maybe, is it going to yell at me? Yeah, it's yelling at me.
Do we need, or would it be possible just to get rid of the items and just leave it as ID and name?
Well, because we got to reference the item from the map.
That's right.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have to actually tell it what it is. So ID is going to be item.id and name is going to be item.name. Oh, where'd we go? Like that.
Okay. So,
I tried to cheat, it wouldn't let me.
okay, let's see here.
So let me know when you guys catch up to that.
Hold on.
Dot by this.
I got a syntax here somewhere.
Wait. Type class expression is expected to be wrapped with parentheses.
Where is that? Where is?
Oh.
Is that a curly brace or a bracket?
Where
very
at?
end.
Right here?
Yeah.
That's a curly brace. That's for the on click.
Ah.
So that wraps the on click, and then the parentheses wrap the dispatch right here for the
Yeah.
callback.
I somehow deleted one of my curly braces. That's what happened.
Yeah.
So in this case, since we basically took out all the props with card details, you just go back to app.js and delete all those prop names and whatnot.
That's exactly what we're gonna do. Yeah, for the cart details. So Prapti, did you get all this? Are you caught up?
No, I just have to declare that that's the const cart use selector, right? To declare?
Yep, const cart equals use selector state, calling back to state.
And that's it, right? And the dispatch too.
And then make sure you got your imports up here set in place too. Which it looks like we didn't need the add cart. Trying to double check our component here. It just maps all that and sends the remove cart from it. And we just get a message saying add carts to there. So yeah, we did not need the add cart.
Okay. Okay, it's only, yeah, it's the same thing. Set card is not defined, so.
Okay, and you have all the rest of the stuff done?
Oh yeah, that's done, yes.
Okay, cool. Let's go back into app.js. We're gonna go down to our card details here, where we have cart remove, set cart, and cart. And we are gonna get rid of them all. And save, see what happens. Oh, it started working. Look out.
Blow it up.
Blowing it up. Oh, we're gonna break it again. Trust me.
Break even more?
Uh-huh. Yeah. And we don't. I'll go ahead.
Mine is throwing an error. Card details not defined.
Cart details is not defined.
No, it says can't resolve the reducer's cart reducer. So maybe I did something wrong in import.
Yeah, let me stop sharing. Let's check it out. We'll debug it. Let's see what we got.
Um,
Let's find the error.
okay. Modular
Okay.
problem.
Are we bringing in the cart reducer? This is an app. Yeah, so you got to bring in the, no, we shouldn't have to bring in the cart reducer. So your error is
From details.
reducers, cart reducer.
Yeah, it's in the cart details. You're looking
Yeah.
at the app.js.
Yeah, click in cart details. Let's see what we got in there.
Maybe I did something wrong here.
Oh wait.
Yeah, you have a comma instead of a period right there after reducers.
Oh, flash.
There we go. It's always a
Yeah, it was
typo.
Thank you.
No problem.
Oh, darn typo.
Oh yeah, they're all over the place. All right, so let me know when you get here and you removed all the props out of cart details.
Yeah, that I did.
Is it working?
Yeah, that's working. It brings up.
All right, let's move on to the cart header then. We're gonna move on to another component. So we're done in details. Let's go to the header. Do we need anything in here?
I'm guessing we'll do the same thing like use selector or
Yep, we just need the cart. So we just need our state. We don't need any methods. So we're just gonna import the use selector. That's gonna come from React Redux. And then we'll go down inside of our component. And always remember that all hooks have to be declared inside of a functional React component. You cannot declare them on the outside. Just a little tip for you guys. That tends to be a common error. We'll call it const cart equals use selector. And the same thing, we're gonna go state, the callback to state. And then we can go down in here into our font awesome icon where props.cart is, and we're gonna ditch the props. That should, I still hasn't broken yet. Let me know when everybody's at that point, and we'll move on to the next component.
oh.
Okay, good.
You got it?
Yeah.
All right. Next component is the category container. Ooh, this is a little big one. Let's see what we got going on in here. I'm gonna open this up a little bit so we can see a little more.
We got cart remove, cart add, cart.
So we need everything in here.
Yeah. And we didn't do anything for parts, right?
No, we didn't. I didn't, because we're not changing parts. That would be more of like an API call from an action to set that state. That hopefully we'll address that tomorrow. I'm trying to see where we need the add cart and the remove cart in here though.
It's down on line 58.
58. That's a prop though, isn't it?
Cart remove, cart add.
Yeah, for the parts card.
Yeah, but we want to get rid of those, yeah?
Yeah, but would we be bringing those in the parts card at that point?
Yeah.
Let's try that first, and let's see if it works. We're gonna do just our use selector in here first. From React Redux. And we'll go down to our component. Const cart was use selector. This is going to be real repetitive. Okay.
State.
Yeah, state and state. Now we have that cart. We're not messing with the parts. Still not messing with the parts. Oh wait, we don't even think we need that in here then, do we?
Maybe not. Unless we
Yeah.
can't touch any of that being passed in right there.
Yeah, I think we're gonna pull that in. It's display model parts card. It's mapping over, and it's creating an item div in our category. If displayed item, I don't know what's going on with that. Parts card dot toggle model. Let's we'll just save this for now, and we will revisit it. We might not even need it in here. We'll see. We're gonna move on to the header.
Only not much to do.
Yeah, header's not nothing part.
It's got props cart, but that's being passed into the cart header.
Okay, so we need to call our dispatch and add cart here.
That's right.
So yeah, we're gonna need our dispatch, and we're gonna need our so we need the use dispatch hook. So import use dispatch. Man, I cannot type today. That's gonna be from React Redux. And then we're gonna have to import our, is the add cart.
Okay.
And that's gonna come from our reducer. And let me know when you guys got those imports in, then we'll fix that function.
So we won't need to do the use selector in this one.
No, because our this whole set cart functionality is handled in our reducer now. So we don't need that, and unless I'm missing something, I see that's the only place that the cart is called. So basically we're gonna comment out this whole line right here.
Okay.
And then we're going to call our dispatch. Oh, first we gotta create our dispatch. That would help. So let's create that. Const dispatch equals use dispatch. So we have our dispatch, and then we're gonna dispatch. How many times can I say dispatch doing this? And it gets an object with a type. That's gonna be our add cart type. And what are we sending in? We're spreading it out, and we're sending in a part. Where's the part coming from? Oh, part equals item 0. I see where it is. So we're gonna send in the part as a payload. So that should work. That basically does the same thing that this is doing. This is calling our set cart. It was spreading out our cart, setting the items spread out, and adding that individual part to it.
Okay.
I'm seeing that right. Yeah, I'm seeing that right. Add cart E. Yeah, okay. Let's save that. Parts card. We got to remove and an add in here. So we could change those to our dispatches.
Okay.
Actually, I want to check something in the app because we got cart add here. And I don't even think that's needed. because we're going to be dispatching it inside of our. We might not even be using these. We might just erase that whole thing. We'll see how this goes. Where was I at? Parts card. We got all that system relevant to the part, except for these. Let's bring in use dispatch and our 2 dispatches from our reducer. So import use dispatch from React Redux. And we need oh yeah, we need the other stuff too.
Card.
Import, yeah, add cart and remove cart have to come in.
Okay.
They're coming from our reducer. And then everybody at that point. All right. So we are there. We're going to go down to where this says props.remove cart. Cart remove. We're going to change that to dispatch.
Set your dispatch.
Oh yeah, good call. I got to set my variable to dispatch. You are correct. Const dispatch equals use dispatch. There we go. And we'll go back down here to dispatch, and this is going to be the same thing. We're going to wrap this whole thing in an object because dispatch expects an object. The first key is type, which is this one was the remove cart. So this would be remove, let me get a space in there. Remove cart. And then the next one is the payload, which that's expecting to see an object. And if you look, we're going to highlight this in an object, and we have to do the same thing again. We have to give this, identify it. So ID is that, and name is that. And that handles our remove.
Oh, keeping the props.
What's that?
Keeping the props for the.
Oh, for the cart here?
Or sorry, for the dispatch and your payload. Keep
Yeah,
the
because
props.
because that's for the part.
Okay.
So that's not, but we do have a cart here, so we can use our selector and go grab that and get rid of the props. So we'll do this other method of dispatch, then we'll go back up and we will go get our state from our Redux. So we're going to change this to dispatch as well. Wrap that in an object. Type is going to be add cart. And then the payload is going to be props.part. So let me know when you guys get to this point, and then we'll go grab our cart.
I think I am there.
All right, Prapti, you there?
Not yet. I'm
Okay.
quick. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. We're in no hurry.
Nope.
I can't wait to see how many errors we get. If we get no errors when we're done with this, it's going to be like, oh, wow. Then we'll start erasing code. And we'll see how clean it gets.
Just want to take a look like where we declared that const dispatch up there, right?
Yeah, right inside the functional component, right here.
Export. Okay. Since we don't using any state here, so we don't have to declare the state inside it, right?
We are actually going to do that.
Oh, you're
Yeah, yeah. Once you get once we get
Yeah.
everybody caught up to the dispatch, we're gonna bring in our selector and grab our state too.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with here.
All
Good
right,
to go. Thank you.
no problem. Let's get that then. Import. Oh, we don't even need it down here. What am I doing? We can grab it up here on line 4. We're already getting it. So use selector. I almost said dispatch there. And const cart equals use selector and the good old state.
Taking that.
Let me know when you guys you got that part down.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna go remove the prop then, right off of here, because we now have just our regular cart. Save that. Let's see if nothing's breaking yet. I'm waiting for it to error out. It's like, come on, show me. And we all there?
Yes.
All right. Let's move on to our store category component. Looks like we need nothing from this.
Okay.
And our store container, we got parts. I don't see any functions in here.
Nothing.
So I think we're good there. So let's go into our app. And let's start removing some of this stuff. Well, we want to keep parts there. But let's get rid of this right here, the cart add and cart remove. And I'm going to go on a whim and say we don't need any of this because of our dispatches. We dispatched it in the component. So we shouldn't need any in this. And if it works, and that is the case, we can erase all of that green. Oh, I missed one right there. And this one.
Oh.
So yeah, this literally has console log in the cart, function app closes. Yeah, let's save that, see if it breaks. It didn't break. Man, I'm disappointed. I wanted it to break. We ain't done yet though.
Use it.
That's what I'm getting ready to do. We're gonna start firing this thing off. Let's go to motherboards. Let's click on a motherboard. Let's add that to the cart. Close, check our cart. It's there, remove, it's gone. Graphics cards, let's add a couple of these. Let's go to motherboard again. We're gonna give us a processor. And we'll get a cool light up case. And let's check our cart, make sure our functionality works in here. And it is all working. Wow. So
did you come out everything out?
Everything for these functions? Yep, it's gone. In fact, I'm getting ready to erase it. We're gonna make it go away. We're gonna get rid of this cart. We're gonna get rid of dispatch. We're gonna get rid of this state. Let's clean this up a little bit. And then we got up here, we don't need this. And we don't need this. We don't need this.
Wait, what?
It just got a lot smaller.
So we don't need that.
Yeah, because our functions that we had in there for add cart and remove cart, we replaced them with dispatch. So we're dispatching through Redux, so those functions aren't doing anything anymore. So anywhere through our app that we were calling that function, like was it cart details? Yeah, so cart details right here would have had a remove cart. Instead of that remove cart function, we're literally calling a dispatch.
In app.js, I don't think we need cart equals cart in the header component either.
Yeah, that's true. Let's get rid of that. I think we fixed that as well. Good call. Yeah. Other than we just got that, the usual unique key prop deal because we never fixed that. It's pretty clean right now.
So much cleaner.
Yeah.
Mine is throwing an error.
No, there's no errors here. Let's check it out.
No, it's something like syntax error, I guess. Unexpected token.
That's the way it always is.
No, unexpected tokens.
As developers, we're always right, but we can't type. So line 72. All right, go ahead and scroll down a little bit. Go back up. Don't get rid of that one. Don't get rid of it. Don't put that one back.
Oh,
The one you just erased. Put that one back. That's a false error. Go up. Right there on line 49, I think it was.
There you go.
Comment that guy out.
Ooh, I have an error.
A bit,
Let's see if that makes it. That made it.
got it. I just read off everything then.
Yeah, we can remove that stuff. Remove that little line right there. You can remove that state for the cart now.
And
Details.
you do need for the route path, right?
Yeah, you need the route, and we need everything parts related.
Okay.
And then you can get rid of line 29 can go. And then we got some imports up in the top that you can, why is cart right there? Why did that say that wasn't defined? Scroll down a little bit. I wonder if it was just a delay. See where cart equals use selector. Are we not even calling cart in here anymore? Scroll down a little bit.
I don't see it. No.
No, yeah, we don't need it here either. Yeah, you can erase that too.
Which one? Oh, this card?
Yep.
Already. Okay.
And then scroll up. So it looks like we just got rid of Redux out of our app.js. So go ahead and erase line 11.
So we didn't use the Redux here.
No, after we got done refactoring, we come to the realization that we didn't need it.
Oh, okay.
So if you save that, make sure you don't throw any more errors. And then we'll take a look at Tommy's error, see what he's got.
Yes, that's correct.
I fixed it.
Thank you.
Oh, you fixed it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's done. Thank you.
All right. I want to, yeah, let's get rid of this. Why not? Our app just got really light. And I think it all still works. Yep. Okay. So nice clean app there. Where was I else? I think we might need it, but we didn't. And I typed it in. Was that the parts card? Add cart, add remove. Yeah, we ended up using it there. Use selector, use dispatch. Was it the part? Add cart. Yeah. Ah, there you go. That's a cool project. Oh, look, we got more cleaning up to do. That's what I like to do. Once I get it all working on a new branch like this, I like to go and all the commented code and unused code, just start cleaning it up. Like parts cards not used in here, we'll ditch that. We're gonna make it look nice and pretty. Header, good there. Category container. Well, we're not using anything from React strap in here. I'm gonna leave that there though. We might touch that. We got any commented out stuff? I got a fun little theory for tomorrow maybe. I'm thinking about we I'm going to build that server out. I'm going to try to tonight real quick to deliver us our part data. So you guys can pull that down and fire it up on your machine and have like just a local API working that's actually supplying us with our part data. And I'm going to program a timeout into it that's a second long. So every time you hit the API, it takes a second. And then we're going to put a React strap loading screen in there. And we're going to trigger it through Redux state through actions and the thunk. So it'll be loading and then it'll display and then it'll loading and display every time we have to hit that API for something. And what that does is it's going to show you what they're going to have you look into and learn is it's called a finite state machine. And that's what Redux and actions with the thunk create is a finite state machine. If you are curious of what a finite state machine is, well, Google it real quick. Finite
Google.
state machine. Or simply state machine, mathematical model of computation. It is an abstract machine that can be in exactly one of an infinite number of states at any given time. So we turn our app into a finite state machine, basically saying that it can only be in one specific state at a time. So when it switches to another state, the first state goes away. And examples of that is like, how many of you guys have been to amusement parks, like old ones back in the day, where you're getting on the ride and you go through the little turntable that counts you with the 3 little bars? That's a
Yeah.
finite state machine. It's exactly what it is. Every time it goes through, it switches state. It's got 3 states. And that's what we turn our app into. So yeah, there's all kinds of different ones like this. Examples. Let's see what kind of examples we got. So you got a lot of diagrams that show you things. This one I think was a pretty good one. I believe this was this the coin one? This might be the one for like the turntable for getting on the subway. And it shows you the finite states it can be in. It can only be in locked or unlocked. And this is the route that it takes to get there.
This is that one project.
Yeah, which one? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, where the LEDs have to turn colors if they're open, but they can only open if they're unlocked.
Yeah, so finite state machine is basically saying the state of your app can't be locked and unlocked at the same time. It can only be in one state at a time. And that makes it a finite state machine. And that's what the Redux thunk does, is it sets multiple dispatches inside a function to allow it to be in one specific state at a time. This keeps you from collisions and errors and all kinds of cool stuff. So like if I had to kind of like write that out, I could do it in my code here. So yeah, if you guys want to like another little homework project tonight, look up what finite state machines are, get a good knowledge of them. And that way, next unit, when you guys see Dustin or whoever the instructor is and they ask you about it, you can blow them away because you already know with examples. Like, I know that. So like if we were to list out the states that our app could possibly be in, it could be in a loading state. So that would be one state. Okay, I'll write these in comments so it doesn't error out. I'm thinking this app just right off a hand. I think of 3 states it could be in, which is a loading state. It can be in a basically like an active state, like a rendered state. And it can be in an error state. Those are like the 3 states of our app. It's either loading, working, or has an error. And you'll see that when you do the thunk, you'll actually have dispatches inside of your actions that'll have like in your state, you'll have an errors and you'll have a loading, like just part of the object to where you'll set that loading object to true. And if the app sees that as true, it'll display a loading screen. And then upon success of an API call, it will set like loading back to false, and then it'll set your API data to state, and then your app renders like normal. But let's say that API kicks back an error, like it's got a server 500. You'll have set up in your state, you'll have an error object that you will populate with that error, and then you'll have your app watch that to display the error to the screen actually inside of your app rather than in the console of the error. So it hits all those states, and it can only be in one of them. Sound cool?
Yeah, that's cool.
So that once you start understanding the state machine and what it's trying to accomplish, that's when this stuff, for me anyway, really started clicking as far as Redux. That's why I started to really like Redux. Redux is like if you're a control freak, kind of like I am with my applications, I want to, I want to control how everything works. Redux is your animal. You can control every aspect of it. Cool. Well, that's it for today. I'll stop the share.